Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Look, I am genuinely thrilled you're tuning in for this one because we are tackling something massive today. We are unpacking a shift that is literally rewiring how businesses get discovered online. For years, the path was pretty predictable. Someone searched on Google, clicked a blue link, compared a couple of websites, and eventually reached out. But that era, it's rapidly evolving. And make no mistake, this isn't just some tiny algorithm tweak we're talking about. This is a fundamental, seismic shift in consumer behavior. AI is completely changing the search landscape. And to stay visible, we've got to adapt our whole approach. Okay, let's dive into this. We've got a fantastic roadmap for us today. We'll start by checking out this new search paradigm. Then, we'll define 3 essential acronyms you absolutely need to know: SEO, AEO, and GEO. From there, we'll move into highly practical tactics you can apply, the traps you definitely need to avoid, and then top it all off with a step-by-step 90-day action plan. All right, section 1. Let's look closely at the new search landscape. Like I just mentioned, the days of simple clicks and endless blue links are shifting right beneath our feet. Which really begs a critical question. Is ranking on Google still enough? Well, no. Actually, the short answer is just a flat no. Simply ranking a page isn't the finish line anymore. Why? Because today, a potential customer might ask Google or ChatGPT, Gemini, or Perplexity for advice way before they ever even visit a single website. Think about that for a second. Your brand might be considered or totally discarded based entirely on an AI's summary before a user ever clicks a link. AI is basically acting as this aggressive new gatekeeper between your business and the searcher. When we compare traditional search to AI search, wow, the contrast is stark. Traditional search was all about predictable clicks, right? Users evaluated websites directly. But AI search, it's deeply, deeply conversational. People are asking much longer, incredibly specific questions. They don't just want a list of links anymore. They want direct answers, shortlists, comparisons, and opinions generated right there on the spot. For instance, instead of just searching best CRM software and opening 10 different tabs, a user might prompt an AI with something like, I run a 50-person agency, we need a CRM that integrates with Slack, give me the top 3 options and their pros and cons. The AI is doing the heavy lifting and evaluating for them. Now, to be totally clear, SEO is not dead. AI overviews on Google are still built on existing search and indexing systems, but search is for sure becoming infinitely more answer-led. So how do we adapt to that? Let's move to section 2 and define our terminology so we know exactly what we're optimizing for here. Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is that these are not separate, siloed strategies. They're actually built on the exact same foundation of useful content and technical accessibility. They are deeply interconnected. So SEO, search engine optimization, that's all about helping systems crawl, understand, and index your site. AEO, or Answer Engine Optimization, focuses on creating content that clearly and directly answers the questions people are asking. And then there's GEO, Generative Engine Optimization. This is about building enough authority, clarity, and trust to actually be referenced by those AI-generated answers. And here's the kicker. GEO relies entirely on the technical foundation of SEO to even exist. If the AI can't crawl your site, it certainly can't cite your authority. If you only remember one single thing from this entire explainer, let it be this core mantra. Listen closely. SEO makes your content discoverable, AEO makes your content answerable, and GEO makes your business credible. Absolutely crucial to keep in mind, because everything we're about to discuss anchors right back to those 3 interconnected pillars. All right, it is time to shift from theory to action. Section 3 covers the highly practical visibility tactics businesses must start implementing right now, and it all begins with your website. First, let me reassure everyone, good old-fashioned technical SEO still matters deeply. AI literally cannot summarize what it cannot crawl or understand, so your practical SEO actions are completely foundational. You've got to ensure your important pages are actually indexed, make sure Google Search Console is set up, keep your titles and headings logical, and this is huge, ensure your site works flawlessly on mobile. And yes, accurate, structured data absolutely helps search engines understand your pages. But a quick warning here, it's not some magic shortcut. It has to be honest and relevant to the visible content. If you try to trick the system with fake schema markup, these AI engines, which are incredible at understanding context, will flag that inconsistency and actively penalize you. Once your technical house is in order, we move to AEO, and the absolute best answer engine optimization starts with real, genuine human confusion. Please do not just rely on keyword tools for this. To find out what people are actually asking, you need to look internally. Review your sales calls, dig through those email inquiries, read your customer support tickets, go talk to your frontline staff. That is exactly where your most valuable, highly converting content ideas are hiding. When you gather all those real questions, start grouping them by intent. Because buyers need these specific categories answered before they're ever ready to pull the trigger. They're going to ask problem questions like, why is our process so slow? They'll ask comparison questions like, should we use off-the-shelf or custom software? You'll get risk questions like, what happens if this breaks during our peak season? Cost questions like, what are the hidden implementation fees? And readiness questions like, is my internal team actually prepared for this transition? Answering these specific, granular questions, that is exactly how you win in an AI-driven search world. Let's move on and see how this builds when we actually structure that content. Don't just toss out a one-paragraph reply and call it a day. Structure it powerfully. Start with a direct answer right near the very top. Then, explain when that answer applies and, critically, maybe even more importantly, when it does not apply. Provide practical examples and trade-offs. Why share your own trade-offs and limitations? Because AI engines absolutely love nuance. By admitting when your solution isn't the best fit, you're signaling objectivity, and that dramatically increases the chance an AI will trust and cite your answer. Finally, give the reader a sensible next step. This flow is perfect because it satisfies human readers and makes it incredibly easy for AI systems to interpret your expertise. Next up, we tackle GEO, Generative Engine Optimization, which is all about credibility. The secret sauce here is specificity. Let's compare a weak generic claim like, we provide automation solutions, to specific evidence like, we automate reporting with custom dashboards for South African businesses. See the difference? Specificity gives search and AI systems much clearer context about exactly who you help and what exact problems you solve. To build that geo credibility, you need a legitimate, solid public footprint. Remember, AI doesn't just read your website in a vacuum, it scrapes the entire web to cross-reference your claims. If your LinkedIn profile and Google reviews don't match your website's promises, your geo credibility is going to plummet. So ensure your info is consistent across your Google business profile, LinkedIn, and reputable directories. Publish detailed case studies, and yeah, even mention those limitations we talked about, because honesty builds immense trust. Gather genuine reviews and clearly state your specific use cases. You really have to treat trust signals as a core, non-negotiable part of your overall visibility. Now that we know what to do, let's quickly touch on what absolutely not to do. Section 4 is a cautionary look at AI search traps. Look, in the mad rush to capture AI traffic, there is a ton of bad advice floating around. First off, please resist the panic-induced urge to rewrite your entire website overnight just to appease some chatbot. Just don't do it. Furthermore, do not waste your time publishing mountains of generic AI-written content. Using AI to just spin up and spam the internet with articles creates more noise, and that's noise that AI search engines are actively designed to filter out and ignore. Avoid fake FAQs, skip the misleading structured data, and definitely don't buy low-quality directory spam. At the end of the day, human trust still comes first. Gimmicks and manipulation are always going to lose to genuine usefulness in the long run. All right, gear up, because it is time for the grand tactical payoff. Section 5 is your chronological roadmap to actually getting this done. You don't need to overhaul the whole shebang today. You just need to plan. Here is your 90-day action plan. Days 1 to 15. Audit those foundations. Check your indexing, your search console, and make sure your contact details and basic technical SEO are totally flawless. Days 16 to 45, improve your core pages. How? By ditching the industry jargon, adding clear pricing tiers, and setting realistic expectations so visitors know exactly what you do. Days 46 to 75, publish a small set of high-quality answer-led content that targets those real buyer questions we talked about earlier. And by a small set, I really mean focusing on quality over quantity. Publishing 3 incredible detailed answers is far, far better than spitting out 30 mediocre ones. And finally, days 76 to 90, strengthen your proof. Add those case studies, gather the reviews, and start measuring your results. So, the crucial point here is how you actually measure those results. You have to redefine what success looks like in an AI search world. Do not judge success only by raw traffic volume anymore. Think about it. Would you rather have 1,000 random visitors who bounce off your site immediately, or 50 visitors who arrive already totally convinced you're the absolute expert because an AI told them so? A page that attracts fewer but highly qualified visitors is infinitely more valuable than a page flooded with broad, low-intent traffic. Quality and relevance, those are your new North Stars. Let's wrap things up with Section 6, looking at how to maintain this edge long-term. The source material for today's explainer actually comes from Repautomate. They're a company that specializes in building business websites with SEO structurally included right from day one. And they recognize that search behavior and AI tools are constantly evolving, which is why they also offer ongoing website maintenance. Because, AI models update constantly, an SEO strategy that works perfectly in January might need some serious tweaking by June. Long-term visibility isn't just a one-and-done project. It requires a site that's built correctly from the start and then maintained continuously as the digital landscape shifts around us. Which leaves us with this final, highly provocative question that you need to ask yourself today. When a potential customer opens ChatGPT or Google's AI overview and asks a serious question about your industry, will it recommend you? Are you visible, credible, and specific enough to be the answer? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Go assess your digital presence, start that 90-day plan, and I will see you next time.